welcome to Model Train Fun. Today we're going to look at some troubles I have with my turnouts. So specifically I got two turnouts here in front of me, and they don't work as nicely as I would have thought. So in order to fix this, I need to use a soldering iron. I need to open some of the turnout mechanisms and so on. So warning. Please follow any safety instructions if you're going to try this yourself, and also be very careful what you do. You could actually damage the components and make them completely inoperable, so be careful. So I got the two turnouts here. If we look at them, I got number 3 here, and I got number 34. So let me try and find them on the mobile station. So I'm gonna look for number 3, which is this one here, and I'm gonna try and just change the turnout. And I'm actually pressing the button now. If you notice, nothing happens. Let me try and wriggle it a little here. You see, it's actually very loose and nice fitting, so there's nothing stuck in there. This one doesn't work at all. So then I'm gonna try the other one, which is number 34. So that's this turnout here. Again, it's very loose. I have no problems with it. I try and shift it. You heard that, a little click, it said there. The funny thing is, if I kind of put it in the middle position, then you see, oh, it actually did something. Oh, here it does something. Sometimes it works, so then it might work for a little while. Oh, it actually does. It seems like it works a little better one direction than the other. Okay, so I got a turnout here that's semi-working. I got another turnout over here that's not working at all. So what could the issue be? So let me just stop the mobile station here and power it off, and it's off. I'm gonna disable the tracks. So what do we have in our turnout? Well, we got the turnout mechanism here, which is the motor that actually moves the blades here. Right now I'm doing it with my fingers, but if you look at the other side, it's the one that actually moves, and you see it has a little peg there. And then we got a decoder. You may or may not have a decoder. Maybe you got an M83 or K83 instead. So an external decoder. Here I got the built-in one, and here I got the turnout mechanism. Now, who could be the culprit here? Well, maybe the decoder didn't work. Which could be the case. Maybe for some reason you accidentally damaged the decoder. So I have another decoder here, which I took out of another turnout. I actually took it out because I had similar issues. It actually didn't work at all. I took this out and I replaced it, and suddenly the turnout mechanism started working. So it could be the decoder, but in this case I suspect it's something different. So if we open up a turnout mechanism, I have one here, and by the way, this fix I'm gonna show you and the challenges in this video only work for the turnout decoder 74490. So it's actually a fix I found on the internet, and you have to use it at your own risk. Okay, so if we look at the turnout mechanism here, when I move this back and forth, right, so that's what it does, it moves this one back and forth. You see there's a little contact here at the end there. See, now it closes, now it opens, now it closes, now it opens. There's one in the other end here as well. By the way, different versions of the 74490 turnout mechanism may look different. This one here has a mechanism in each end. Some of them only have in one end. And here I got 2 wires going into the mechanism. Sometimes there's 3. Okay, so why is this little mechanism here? Well, the turnout, or why is this little switch here? Well, the turnout mechanism can be used both for analog and digital. So if it's analog, remember you have these keys where you can press the buttons. Somebody could actually press those over a long duration. If you press those over a long duration, you may actually burn out the turnout mechanism. As you see, this one here, it's nice and shiny. Everything looks nice in here. If you open it up, it's blackened, it's burned, some of the plastic is melted, then probably the turnout mechanism is completely faulty and you won't be able to use this trick. So when you press the button in analog, in order to protect the turnout mechanism such that it doesn't burn out, when it goes here to the end, for example, let's say somebody keeps on pushing the button, that means there's still current flowing through. You'll hear it saying right here. Then it will actually automatically shut off here. So that's what this one little does here. It actually shuts off and then it will stop giving current to the turnout mechanism. Now in the digital world, that's not really a problem. Why is that? Because if you use the mobile station 2 or the central station 3, it automatically doses the current given here. It doesn't do anything equivalent to putting your finger down and keep pressing the button. Even if you do that on a mobile station and the central station 2, it will only send out short bursts of 200 milliseconds. So what happens is that this switch here over time can corrode and then it will actually not work as well. So what often happens is it stays in the position. So when it's here, when it's closed, this mechanism, it will actually stop the power to prevent overheating. So what we can do is we can basically just short circuit the wires here at the end, and then the turnout mechanism will be usable for digital only and not for analog. By the way, why does this problem occur? Well, the switch here that's working at the end, evidently there's some internal mechanics in there that can corrode, and then over time it doesn't let the current flow as nicely. Okay, how do we do this? All right, let's try out the fix. So we are first going to unscrew the turnout mechanism. Remember, there's 2 screws. Gonna make sure the turnout mechanism is not in the outreach position, but in the inner position, because then we can easily take it out. Now we just need to gently pull out the cord. All right. Now you see the turnout mechanism. In order to open it, you see there's kind of something here, there's up here as well, and here in the corner. So the easiest way to do that is to leave these 2 alone, and these small thingies here, get a small screwdriver underneath and open it, these 3 points here, and then you can basically open it up. So here I got a small screwdriver. Okay, I basically just put it underneath. You see it needs to go underneath here, in there, and then you basically gently pry it open. So I'm gonna do that and just zoom in a little. So it's there, then I just gently pry it open. Okay, I do it with the next. Okay, and then I do it with the last up here in the corner. All right. Not sure I got it completely here. Alright, let's just do it again here. Okay, then I can basically pry it open here. See, it comes apart. Alright, I'm just missing the corner one here. Okay. Alright, oops. So now you can see the entire thing comes apart. Just be gentle with it. But you can open it up basically. Okay, here we have it. Here we have the inside of the turnout mechanism. Basically the way the mechanism works is that when this slider goes back and forth, you see there's a little contact here at the end that turns off the current. If it gets to the outreach position, there's one in the other end as well that turns it off so it won't overheat. Some of these there are a switch in each end. Some of them there's only one in one end. Some of them has 3 wires here into the switch, like this one. Some have 2 wires instead, so you can see that on this one here. See, this one only has 2, and it has a resistor in between. Basically what we just need to do is we need to shorten those wires, and it doesn't really matter with the middle one. The only thing we need to make sure of is when we shorten it, that it doesn't touch the metal casing. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. In order to do that, I just grabbed some wire. I got a little wire here. That's actually gray 7100 wire. You can use any of the Märklin wire from 7100 up to 7105. Let's strip the wire here. Oh, I'm not doing this too well today, huh? So I'm going to strip the wire. You need to use a multi-stranded wire. That's why I'm actually using this Märklin one. Remember to twist it. Now we need to turn on the soldering iron. And then we need to tin it. So you can also just, if you want to, you can try and just put a blob of tin across here as well. I think that might actually work on this one. Maybe I'll do that. So you can either solder the wire on here, or you can just put some blobs of tin across here. Let me try and solder a wire on this side here, and then I'll try and just put a blob on the other side and see what the difference is. If there's only, if it's one of the versions with only 2 here with a resistor in between, I found that just putting a blob did not work. I definitely needed the wire. So here's the wire. I'm just gonna tin the wire a little. So, all right. So I'm just gonna solder the wire across these 3. Yeah, I'm not the best at soldering, but we'll get there in the end. All right. That looks good. Excellent. So for this side, I'm just going to try and put on just a big blob of tin and see if that works. Across these three. Like I said, if it's the micro switches that has 2 on them, I didn't seem to make it work. All right, it looks like we have success. So we just put a blob across this end, and over here I put a wire. I haven't cut off the wire yet, so we need to do that. Okay. What we need to do is to inspect and make sure that it doesn't go out here to where the metal would be. It looks like we got clearance here. Looks like we got clearance here. Now we just need to reassemble everything, if we remember how. So here I got the board. So just plug it back in here. Okay. We have the top lid as well, or the bottom. Just basically put it back in. So remember, there are some hooks here on the other side we didn't open, so just basically make sure it goes in there. And then we just need to gently press it together. Okay. And then we can basically press these tabs back again. All right. Cool. And it should be done. All right. Now we just reattach the drive or turnout mechanism. Remember to, we want the small tab out here so we can attach it. Well, actually before that, the first thing is attach the wire. Remember there's a groove on here, so it has to turn a certain way. So this looks right. We have the tab sticking out. We hook it again. We put it back. We align with the screw holes. We reattach the screws. All right, that was one. That's two. Okay, let's power up the mobile station. Actually, let's connect the track first, and then we'll power up the mobile station. I already forgot what was this. This was number 3. All right. Mobile station is powering up. I'm gonna go to the keyboard, find number 3. And now you see it works really nice now. Excellent. We fixed our turnout. Now one thing I have discovered, so put stop mode for the mobile station, disconnect. If I look at this one here, see, sometimes when it goes in this position here or out here, it can get stuck. So when you have it open, try and move it a little backwards and forwards. If it doesn't work too well, consider just snipping off the little end here. Right, so what I did was I basically just snipped off the little tab out there on the switch, and then it moved easier, and then I had no problem. All right. Now the final thing to do before you finish up your work is to mark this one, the turnout, as digital only. So let me just add that. So put a small sticker on there, write it on there with a permanent marker or something like that. Oh, I see I already smeared this. Okay. Yeah, not the cutest writing, but at least it does the job. So now I know, first of all, I fixed this turnout mechanism. So next time there's trouble, I know that maybe something else is wrong. And I know not to use this for analog layouts. All right. Now remember this decoder here that I said was broken. Let me just check it, because maybe when I replaced it, it was actually the turnout mechanism that wasn't good. So let me just go back to this one here. I will unscrew the turnout mechanism again. So this is the one we just fixed. And I will try it with the other decoder here, the one that supposedly doesn't work. So we plug that in again in this fixed turnout mechanism. Okay, now I just need to attach it to the track. I'm just gonna do a random track here, straight track. Remember red on the B and brown on the 0. So I first attach the brown. I then attach the red to the B. Okay. I'm just having it here on the table. I'm gonna turn on my mobile station again. Then I'm gonna go to address 20. And now I'm gonna try it out. And indeed, it works. So what did I learn here? Well, I'm happy I saved my turnout decoder. So where I thought it actually was a turnout decoder that was faulty, I actually did replace it with a newer one, and it seemed like it worked for that drive. Not quite sure why. Maybe the newer turnout decoders are better than the older ones. But here, what you saw was by fixing the turnout mechanism, I could make my entire turnout work again. Yippee! I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. There's also a little notification bell. When you hit that one, you'll be notified about upcoming videos. Enjoy!